买了一本非常有意思的英文小说。
哦。
我的那只很活泼的猫有点胖。我有一条很贵的丝绸围巾。你怎么不说话？
我困了，晚安。
They were talking about different modifiers in Chinese and their order.
Yeah, so if you're an English nerd, you may have seen a quote from Emily Dickinson, I believe, about, the order of English adjectives, and we could never put it in this order, and everyone knows this.
Okay.
But yeah, Chinese has that same thing too, that certain types of adjectives, certain types of modifiers need to go before other ones.
Yes.
We will see it in the dialogue and then talk about it later.
Okay, so the dialogue. Dialogue, first time.
我买了一本非常有意思的英文小说。
哦。
我的那只很活泼的猫有点胖。我有一条很贵的丝绸围巾。你怎么不说话？
我困了，晚安。Dialogue, second time.
我买了一本非常有意思的英文小说。
哦。
我的那只很活泼的猫有点胖。我有一条很贵的丝绸围巾。你怎么不说话？
我困了，晚安。
Okay, so our friend, the bad conversationalist, has returned to this dialogue.
Okay, yeah.
In order to help us to keep the conversation going with all of these very modified phrases that the other person is saying.
Yeah, so it seems like that one person's trying to find a new topic to start a conversation, but he just can't get a response from the other person.
Yeah, just okay with everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so these things are very different in topic, but each one kind of follows the same pattern of having a lot of modifiers.
Yeah.
But probably we should start with an example, and best to do that is to look at the first line.
Yeah, okay. 我买了一本非常有意思的英文小说。
I bought a very interesting English novel.
Yeah, so all those words in the middle of this sentence, they are modifiers of the last word, 小说, which means novel. So if we take all of those modifiers out of this sentence, then we can get a very simple sentence. 我买了小说.
I bought a book. Simple.
Yeah, so the verb here is 买, to buy, and there's a 了 after it to indicate this action has already happened. So the modifiers in the middle, the first one is 一本, that's the amount, the quantity. So 本 is a measure word for all those books.
Yep, and so that'll be the first thing you always see is the number.
Yes, so it's a number plus a measure word in Chinese. And then 非常有意思.
Okay, so that's very interesting, extremely interesting.
Yeah, this phrase is another kind of modifier in Chinese. It's used to describe what kind of this thing it is.
Okay, what kind of thing it is? There may be like your impression of that thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here, 非常, that's the adverb extremely, and 有意思, interesting. So if I ask you, 你觉得这本小说怎么样?
Okay, what's it like? I can say 非常有意思.
Yeah. That's the answer you can give me.
Okay, so that's an answer to the question, what do you think of something?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we can see a 的 here. That is the mark, that's the symbol of the modifier. So before the 的 is the modifier, and after 的 it should be the noun. But here, after the 的, we have another word to describe 小说, that's 英文, English.
Sure.
So there are one kind of modifier that can be linked to the noun without the 的. So this is the modifier can answer the question like what novel you are reading.
Okay, so that's more about the state of the novel, the essence of the novel.
Yes.
Something that cannot be separated from the novel.
Yeah, so Chris, 你在看什么小说?
Okay, what book are you reading?
Yeah, and then you can tell me that 我在看英文小说.
Okay, so the difference between those two being that one of them is the essence of the book.
Yeah. this modifier is more close to the noun, so there don't need to be a de in the middle.
Okay. And the other one is the impression of the book.
Yeah, kind of subjective.
Yeah.
So you need to use a de to link that kind of modifier with the noun.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So here in this sentence, the order of those three kinds of modifiers. The first one is the number, the amount.
Mm-hmm.
And then the feeling, the subjective one.
Sure.
And then the last one is the state of that noun.
Yeah. So it's kind of objective realities will be closer to the noun than our impression, our
Yes.
subjective impression of that noun.
Yes.
Fair enough. So we got number, subjective, objective.
Yeah.
So let's check out this next line, which is very interesting,
Oh.
which means O.
Yeah. If you are typing Chinese, you can just type an O to type out this character. Oh, it just means,
I don't care.
yeah. That's right.
Yeah. That's what it means.
Yeah, that's why this character annoys a lot of people
Yeah.
in the conversation. Yeah.
I'm fairly certain whenever a Chinese person says "oh" to me, it's because that person didn't understand what I just said.
Okay.
And I went, well, that conversation's over because
Yeah.
apparently I can't communicate clearly about it. Okay, so let's not dwell on that line. Let's go to the next string of modifiers.
我的那只很活泼的猫有点胖。
My crazy cat has gotten a little fat.
Okay, so in this sentence, all the modifiers are used to describe the cat. So the main structure here is that 猫有点胖.
Mm-hmm.
So the cat is a little fat. So 有点 means a little bit. It's used before adjectives to mean a little too something, actually.
Yeah.
If you are using 有点, that means you are not that satisfied with the current situation. So let's check all the modifiers before the cat now. So at first it's 我的.
Yeah, okay. So that's like possession.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the furthest one away from the noun.
Yeah, so if you need to clarify the possession or where is it needs to go at the beginning of all those modifiers.
Okay, which is interesting because almost all the other modifiers will go after the number, but this one goes before it.
Yes. And then here is kind of the number because it's 那只.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so 只 is the measure word for those small animals. So 那只猫. And then after it, the subjective modifier 很活泼的.
Yeah, so technically this means lively.
Yeah.
But if a cat was like running all around my house, I wouldn't be like, oh, it's so lively, you know? I'd be like, my cat's so crazy.
Yeah. So that's the word 活泼. You can use 活泼 to describe your pet, animals, or a person.
Yeah, that's also why I say crazy. Because when someone introduces themselves as 很活泼, I'm like, I'm a little worried.
Okay. But I have to say, I think it's a positive word in Chinese.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can use an adverb. Here is a 很 and then 活泼 as a phrase to modify a noun, a cat or a person. So here is a 很活泼的猫. And the full sentence, 我的那只很活泼的猫有点胖.
Okay, so that's the whole sentence.
Yeah, the possession, the number, what kind of cat is it, modifier, and then the rest of the sentence.
Yeah, and there is a de between 活泼 and 猫.
Yeah.
Because this is a subjective statement.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had crazier cats, you wouldn't consider this cat so lively. But if you only had lazy cats up until that moment, then you'd be like, wow, this is a very lively cat.
Yeah, there are different levels of 活泼.
Yeah, as opposed to orange. You know, if it was an orange cat, that would be an objective reality of this cat.
Okay.
Okay, so now we have another stellar line from person B. Okay, I think this means okay.
Yeah, this character, this word can be used to show agreement.
Yeah, I agree that your cat has gotten a little fat.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, when people say, they just, usually it means they're paying attention.
Yeah.
to keep the conversation going.
Yeah, it's okay, yes. So if someone asks you a question, you can reply like, as a yes.
Yeah. But, the first person's not satisfied with this answer, and so he or she goes in a very crazy direction for the third line.
Okay, so since this person is not interested in the English novel, 英文小说, or 我的猫, so let's try another thing.
Yeah.
我有一条很贵的丝绸围巾.
I have a very expensive silk scarf.
Yeah, so all those modifiers is still in the middle of this sentence. If we take all of those away, it's 我有围巾.
Yep, I have scarf.
Yeah, so that's 围巾 scarf at the end. And the structure is exactly the same as the first line. So at first, the amount, the number, so that's 一条, but we change the measure word here. It's a 条, which is used to describe those long and thin things.
Yeah, like a scarf.
Yeah, 围巾 or 一条裙子.
Okay, a dress.
And then 很贵的 is still an adverb plus adjective phrase.
Yeah, very expensive.
Yes. And the symbol of those modifiers. And another like objective modifier of the noun. So it's a 丝绸围巾.
Okay, so that's a silk scarf.
Yeah, 丝绸, that's silk.
Okay, yeah, and so that 很贵的 is also, again, not the objective reality because,
Yeah, it depends.
Depends on how much you normally spend on scarves.
Yeah.
And just one last thing on scarves. I really like the word for scarf in Chinese.
Okay.
Because jin is like towel.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then wei is to like wrap around.
Yeah.
So it's just a really good... That's exactly what a scarf is.
Yep.
It's a towel you wrap around yourself a lot. So
That's true.
Okay, so the appropriate response is how expensive, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So you can continue this conversation.
But that's not what he or she gets.
Yeah, it's still a
Yeah, well, if that didn't get you, then there's nothing left, right? Okay, so now we move on to a different sentence structure.
你怎么不说话?
Why aren't you saying anything?
Yeah, so here 怎么 is used to ask why or how come. So when people is using 怎么 to ask this kind of question, it means this person is a little surprised by the situation.
Yeah, like kind of a what's your problem
Yes.
type of question.
Yeah, that's right. And then 说话 to talk, to say something. So 你怎么不说话?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Then we have a good answer afterwards.
我困了，晚安.
I'm tired. Good night.
Yeah, so 困, that's sleepy. So 我困了, and the 了 here is used to tell that this is a new situation.
Yeah, and kun is different to lei.
Yeah.
Lei is like physical body tiredness.
Yeah.
Kun is like your eyes are closing.
Yes, right. And then 晚安, good night.
Okay, well, that's the dialogue. Let's listen to all these modifiers one more time.
Okay.
我买了一本非常有意思的英文小说。
哦。
我的那只很活泼的猫有点胖。我有一条很贵的丝绸围巾。你怎么不说话？
我困了，晚安。Okay, so the conclusion is if you have different kinds of modifiers and if you want to include all of them in the same sentence, the first one should be the possession or where is it? And then the second one, the number.
Okay.
And sometimes it can be a 这 or 那 plus the measure word.
Yeah, it still counts as one.
Yeah. And then what kind of thing it is.
Yes, the subjective reality.
And the last one, what it is.
Yeah, something tangible, innate to that, the being of the thing.
Yes. And the last one is the noun. So
yeah, can't forget that.
Okay, so maybe we can give 2 more examples.
Sure.
And the first sentence is 她的那件红色的高领毛衣不好看。
That one red turtleneck sweater is not good looking.
Yeah.
Okay, so putting 那件 in the middle of that sentence is not very nice for translating into English.
Okay.
I just wanted to do it word by word, just so you could see the order.
Yeah. And for another example, 桌子上的这两种进口的婴儿奶粉都很贵。
On the table, those two imported baby formula are very expensive.
Yeah, so they all follow the same pattern.
Yeah, so we have the place, we have the number, we have 进口的, which I guess seems objective, but it is something that happened to this baby formula. It's not like innate to the existence of the baby formula.
Yeah.
Where baby is part of the formula, I guess. This is a little bit of a weird one, but
it's not made from babies. It's made for the babies.
It's for the babies.
Yeah.
And it cannot be separated from the babies. No one else can have it. So, okay. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.